Greetings, everyone. I am Michaiah Luciana, Reiki Master Teacher and Practitioner, and a Goddess Yoni Steam Practitioner at Kepra's Blue Lotus. I'm located on the internet, and I'm located in Wilmington, North Carolina. And so today I wanted to bring to you a talk about breaking the chains and just sharing some information. And of course, if you have any questions, comments, you are definitely more than welcome to send them to me or post them down in the chat area. And again, this is Kepra's Blue Lotus, so feel free to like and subscribe. All righty, let's get started. So, breaking the chains. So, what does it mean to you when you hear breaking the chains? So for me, it means to stop the patterns and situations in my life that's not serving my highest good. And to do that, I really need to look into my life, do some self-reflection, look within myself, remove the emotions, and evaluate myself, evaluate my actions, evaluate my thoughts, and evaluate my feelings. And after doing that, I need to realize, are these things that are of me? Is it something that I picked up along the way over the years? Is it something that I inherited from my family? Is it something that I inherited from society? Is these things really of me? And so after going through that, doing that type of self-evaluation, it helps me to really pinpoint, what do I need to work on? What can I start to heal? What can I release so I can heal? So in this talk, I will touch on where do we start? How do we start breaking the chains? What are strategies or tasks to breaking the chains? And so one of the things that we have to keep in mind when it comes to breaking the chains, is finding out the root issue. A lot of times we have a lot of situations that occur, but they're more or less symptoms of the root. And a lot of times the root is our ego. And whenever our ego is running rampant, what it does is it edges God out. So doing this self-evaluation process, ask yourself, have you allowed your ego to take over? And are you operating as your ego or your authentic self, that higher self, that higher vibration of self? And so those are just a few things to think of. So the question is, what is the ego? What's the purpose of the ego? Because everybody has an ego. It definitely serves a purpose. It's just that whenever we allow it to run rampant, that's when we encounter some of the problems that we have. So many master teachers describe the function of the ego is to give a sense of unity or singularity to the human experience. The ego does perform an essential function. However, the problem develops when the inner self is not fully awakened. Oh, okay. So during this weakened state, our sense of identity becomes overshadowed by our external experiences. We then look to the outside of self instead of looking within. So we're always pointing our fingers at other situations, other people, and not pointing at ourselves. That's definitely an indication that our ego is running rampant and we need to check that ASAP. So the ego is the human consciousness part of self. It ensures our security and survival. So that's the purpose of it. So our sense of I becomes defined by our body, our fears, our desires. So during this unawakened state, the ego creates distractions and obstacles to spiritual growth. a false reality. But once we turn inwardly, truly turn inwardly and self-reflect, the ego's misuse of identity dissolves. So sometimes even getting past our ego just to get to self is challenging. Our ego puffs up our head, tells us this, tell us that, and we fall for it. Sometimes the ego uses fear, like, well, you're not good enough. Well, you can't do this. No, this ain't right. No, people are not going to like you. Different things like that. Your ego is always saying things that causes you to doubt yourself or doubt the situation. So we have to learn how to truly go inwardly and connect with our higher self, and we do that through meditation is one of the ways. But as we connect with our higher self and strengthen that relationship, we then begin to dissolve that ego. So by identifying patterns within ourselves, we then can start to break those chains. So it's very important that we identify the patterns. So some of the examples of patterns is reactions to certain situations, different thoughts and behaviors. Sometimes we have thoughts and behaviors that we just picked up, ancestrally, picked up from family or society. And so we have to identify those patterns within our lives. If we're continuing to go through the same thing over and over and over, so that means we haven't learned our lesson. That means that is a pattern that we need to identify, look at the root cause, because remember, it takes two. And our individual self is a part of that equation. So we have to look at ourselves. What role do we play in this situation? And how can I change it? How can I rectify it? What is the root issue? So ask yourself when recognizing patterns in your life, where did I get this process from? That behavior. Are these patterns really me or someone else from my family or environment? So also ask yourself, what patterns, people, and circumstances in my life have overstayed their welcome? Am I willing to say goodbye to them? And that's another major key. Once you identify what the root issue is, are you willing to let go? Are you going to allow fear to sit in and say, we can't do it on our own? No, we don't know what we're going to do. We don't know what's going to happen. But you know what? That's all what faith is. Whenever you turn inwardly, turn to that divine source that's within us and have faith in that, all will go well. You don't have to know what the next step is or what's going to happen. But do know that you are firm and confident in your spiritual decisions. So it's also breaking generational curses. So keep in mind, change your thoughts, change your words, change your life. And you do it bit by bit, step by step, line upon line, precept upon precept. Best believe you will be in a completely different place. So right now is the perfect time to go inwardly, especially during this time of year. Spring is upon us now. And, it's a good time to do that spring cleaning spiritually. Do that spring cleaning inwardly. And also the year 2021 adds up and vibrates to the number 5. So number 5 represents freedom from old patterns and behavior. Life lessons are learned through experience. So in other words, baptism by fire. Fire! The vibration of 5 helps with making positive life choices and decisions. So here's a few suggestions for you. If this information, resonated with you and you would like to learn more or learn about some different options that you can do to help break patterns within yourself, here's a few suggestions. So on my website, KeprasBlueLotus.com, I have a free forgiveness packet because I truly believe that forgiveness is the beginning of healing. And it's not necessarily always about forgiving the other person. You have to start with yourself. Always start with self, because everything begins with you. It's going to begin with you and it's going to end with you. So forgiveness of self. So the forgiveness packet is a free download on KeprasBlueLotus.com. You are more than welcome to get it, download it, and use it. And I do have a video on my YouTube page that goes over the steps of the forgiveness packet. So you can definitely check that out, to get some step-by-step instructions on the different exercises in the packet. Another thing that you can do is a burn release ceremony. And with that, as you're doing your self-evaluation, you come across different things within self that you want to release. Let's say you want to release fear. You want to release low self-esteem. And basically what you do is you write it on a piece of paper. I like to use parchment paper, and just write one word, cut it out, put one item on one piece of paper. And what you do is, you light it, you burn it, and then you watch it burn. And you're like, I release you. You no longer serving my highest good. And so also whenever you're releasing, you can also write down the things you want to bring to you, and you burn that as well. So you can bring that to you. And I got a video on YouTube about burning ceremony as well. And so, so those are some of the things that you can start doing on your own. Now, if you want to take it a notch further, I have different services on my website. I have the Vow Break and the implant removal. And actually, so April is coming up. So that's part of my maintenance, my spiritual maintenance that I do quarterly. So I run this system on myself quarterly. And, especially, being out and about, dealing with other people, as you work on yourself, different things are going to come up. And so doing spiritual maintenance will help you along in this task of breaking the chains. Of course, energy work, I have different energy systems. I have Reiki, I have celestial energy, light energy. So different energy systems to really go deep within self. And when it comes to the energy work, it heals the four body system. And the four body system consists of mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. So the energy will heal you and the four body system, and it also heals you multidimensional, because this is multidimensional energy. This energy is not just energy you pull out of the air. This is truly energy from eternal sacred source, from the creator, and his energy is governed by angels. So it's very important that you are ready and serious for the energy work, because it's going to do what it's supposed to do. You have to be ready to receive and ready to do the work. But once you do, you'll be so happy and proud of yourself that you did. And that's what it's about, because that's why I do what I do. Because whenever I learned about Reiki and other types of energy, and I saw how it changed my life, it changed me as a person overall, I was like, everybody needs this. Everybody needs this. So that's why I do what I do. So not only I'm here to help you, look, I'm helping me as well. And to be the best version of myself. And that's what it's all about. And of course, another suggestion is yoni steaming. And yoni steaming is an ancient healing modality for women, where they sit over a pot of herbs that and they're receiving the medicinal properties through steam of these herbs, and it heals the womb. It helps release stagnant energies in the womb, because as women we hold on to a lot of emotions, even ancestral energies is stored in our wombs, in our ovaries. And so by doing yoni steaming, it helps heal that as well. So breaking this change, it can be very, very deep, but you know what? It's worth it. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen in a day. It's not going to happen in a week, but it takes time, and with great diligence and in the open mind, you get it done. Best believe. So anyway, once again, I am Michaiah Luciana of Capra's Blue Lotus. And so I just wanted to share this information with you about breaking the chains. All right then. Take care. You have a good one. Peace.